these reporters.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have seen it.
Oh,
Dude's
my
just
goodness.
walking behind him.
Yeah.
And the dude hunched down like under the water and shit,
Yeah.
but there's dudes walking right behind
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
The camera guy's standing in ankle deep water, like 10
Well,
feet away from him.
You remember when Iraq 1 kicked off, right? Everybody's in their gas mask, and we want to get hit, and everybody's in the bunkers.
Anderson Cooper, same
Anderson Cooper. So do you know that the footage? So you saw that 2-minute little piece, right? Where they're like, "Oh, we're about to get hit. Put our gas masks on and shit." Do you know the footage has been released from in front of that, behind it? There's like a 15-minute cut out there of them fucking just sitting around bullshitting, and they're like, "Okay, we're gonna go live," and they start fucking. They're making the air raid sound. They got their own fucking air raid sound. They're talking about all the shit. They're shaking around like the ground's quaking and stuff. That was all fucking bullshit. All of that fucking news shit. There is so much news footage like that from Katrina and fucking Iraq 1 and Iraq 2. And even in Afghanistan, like air raids coming in and fucking we're being mortared and shit. And you see them fucking just laughing and shit. The footage from behind and in front of it, it's all out there. Like it's all over the place now. I don't know how they can even fucking remain in business.
We had, so when I was in Hisaba, we had, I can't remember if it was CNN, may have been CNN, but it was a major news outlet decided, it was when they were doing that, when they were doing all that, interviewing people in the field, and they'd be like, "Was there anything you'd like to say to your family at home?" And you'd be like, "Merry Christmas," and shit, right? So then they were doing all that stuff, and they came to Saba, and the battalion commander's like, "You don't want to go out there. It's not really secure yet, but they were like, we want to go to the front. We want to go where the action is." So they came, and they set all this shit up. They got their cameras, and they all came out, you know, and they had like 20 people to support one guy doing the interviews. But they're like, we want to do it from on top of the CP so we can get the Syria and the sunset in the background. And the CO's like, yeah, that's not a good idea.
Yeah,
It's
dude's
really,
will shoot you.
it's really not a good idea, but they talked him into it. So they get up there. I think they did like 3 interviews. They did like 3 interviews with people. And then an RPG, they shoot an RPG over the camp. Like it's nowhere near the camp. It actually goes into, it just flies over the camp and blows up in Syria. Right? I have never seen some motherfuckers pack up and get the fuck out of there so fast. They were gone. They're like, nope, not gonna have it. We're out of here.
It's all fun and games till people start shooting around.
Yeah, tell us real shit, man. I mean, there's reporters out there doing real shit, but if you think that,
yeah, it ain't on CNN.
yeah, what's his
And it
name?
ain't on Fox.
What's his name on CNN?
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, if you think Anderson Cooper is really risking life and limb to get you the news story, come on now. Anderson's he's a primetime guy. He's not getting wet. His hair's not getting messed up. He ain't going looking for the story.
Isn't
They
Anderson?
will make up the story. I mean, they'll make up the story before they're going to have him go out and get.
Isn't he the
fired
dude that, like in the last year, was at the indoor shooting range?
No, that wasn't. That was like
It looked like him.
crying or something about shooting the AR.
No. Well, he was shooting an AR, but he's like, yeah, I shot one. This is just like what I had in the Army. I can't believe civilians can own these guns. He's shooting at an indoor shooting range. He's all the way at the left lane against the wall, and he has the A2 buttstock over his fucking shoulder.
Yeah, that wasn't him. It was another guy.
Yeah, who was that?
Another just an example of why you don't trust the media. Whatever story that they're pushing, there's another story down here that they don't want you to know about.
What about China's re-education camps? They say if you try to leave China, we're going to put you in the re-education camp. They actually apparently said that, but they deny having re-education camps. Spearco is like, yeah, kind of like what's going on in fucking Canada. They don't call them re-education camps, but if we don't agree with what you're doing, we're going to put you in this place to teach you some new skills. And oh, by the way, you have to live here for 2 years while we teach you these skills. That actually that's happening apparently, and they don't call it jail, but it's up in Canada. And he said you need to watch for that shit in the United States because it's fucking coming.
It just depends on who. It depends on who takes control. The issue is right now you have Democrats who just think about. I want you to think about your politicians, especially Democrats. Okay, you have all these Democrats who have just been regular old Democrats, and now because of some flukes, mind you, these are flukes. Americans are not socialists. These are flukes. Because of some flukes and some people saying that they are socialists getting elected to the Democratic Party, they're all those Democrats are now trying to pretend like they're socialists. That is the problem. That small minority, if that small minority gets into a position of power, that is where we're going to have a problem. The only issue is Democrats, you're not armed for the task. The day you start doing what you think you're going to do, I think we're just going to clean house.
You know how I see our politicians? You know how I picture them? Have you seen Hunger Games?
Yeah.
Like, that's how I picture the politicians.
That's
They're
how
doing
they
one
are.
thing one day, the next day it's like fucking watching Hollywood. That's how it is. And they want us to be like the seven camps or whatever.
It's just it's the reality is they have created this system. They have created the system. We have not created it. They have created the system where they no longer have to do any work. They don't do any work. None of those people are working. They're not doing the business of America. They're doing their own personal bidding. And we're allowing them to do that. That's the problem right there. If you held them accountable, that's Democrats and Republicans.
Or a goddamn term limit.
If you held them accountable, we wouldn't be having these problems. Because you're too worried about things that don't matter. Whether or not a dude can go in a girl's bathroom does not matter. Doesn't make any difference. You're too worried about things that have nothing to do with the fact that you have billions and billions and billions of dollars that the Chinese own. And if they dump those dollars tomorrow, we'd be living like Venezuela. We'd be in utter poverty.
We have a dude here that I'm not even sure which bathroom he uses.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody gives a fuck. Like, I don't think there's anybody in this building that gives a fuck what I've never seen him in our bathroom. Have you?
I don't think so. I've never seen him in the girls' bathroom either.
He sews pretty good. I don't give a shit how he dresses or what he fucking does on his own time. I don't really give a shit what he does on our time, as long as he fucking sews. But nobody gives a fuck what bathroom he's using. That's
Yeah,
just it's smoke and mirrors.
You're
It's
worried
a
about
butt
the wrong. You're worried about the wrong thing. They're putting all that stuff forward, so you're not thinking about the billions and billions and billions of dollars that they're wasting. The national defense. The defense dollar has gone through the fucking roof. We are paying more now for national defense than we were when we had the Army and the Marine Corps active in the field fighting the enemies of this country. We're paying more now for less. You have less troops in conflict right now than we've ever had in 10 years, but we're paying more. Why is that? Whose pockets are getting lined? Guaranteed that money is not buying bullets or M16s or new tanks.
That's what the Space Force is for. So
It's paying for some other bullshit.
they can divert money to it.
Well, the reality is NASA no longer has a mission. The minute you have private organizations saying we can build aircraft, we can build space aircraft that will go service satellites, that will take payloads up to the space station and do all those things. Why do we need NASA? What is NASA doing? They're not doing anything. Not for the money that they're getting. Now, mind you, when you look at the overall budget, NASA's budget is it's nothing. It's a grain of sand in the desert. Like, if we closed NASA tomorrow, just like shuttered it up, sold everything at auction, you, the taxpayer, would not notice that NASA was closed. But they're becoming irrelevant. You have all these Air Force personnel that have transferred over to Space Command, who are inside of Space Command because of NASA. If NASA becomes irrelevant because of Elon Musk and who's the guy that sells all the books? Amazon?
Oh, yeah. I don't
because they're both making rockets now. If NASA is not in the business of building aircraft anymore, then they become irrelevant. So what do you do with all those generals and all those colonels that are currently under Space Command? You have to create a whole new organization, and that's where Space Force comes in. You create this new entity that, watch, when it becomes a matter of national security, the dollars are going to go through the roof. If you are currently in the Air Force or any type of aeronautical, like in the Marine Corps flying jets or in the Navy flying jets, you should put in your resume for Space Force. Because right now, all they're doing is standing around going, I wonder what color hats we should get. So by the time they figure out what color hats they get, and by the time we have a Star Cruiser sitting parked off the edge of the moon, you'll have all these stars on your shoulder and shit. You'll be like, woo, let's go. And all you had to do was pick out hats. That's what you need to do. Space Force. Sign up. But it's just about money shuffling. That's all it is. It's about money shuffling. When I joined the Marine Corps, every year, the United States Marine Corps wrote a check to the Department of Defense and said, "Here, look, we didn't spend all our money. Here's some of our money back." That's how awesome we are. Not until this war started did the Marine Corps stop doing that. Stop giving money back. Like, dudes in the Marine Corps now do not know hard times. They've got the best gear. They've got the best equipment. When you're complaining about your sniper rifle, you have no clue what you're complaining about. You're just complaining to complain. You've got the best equipment. Learn how to use it. That's the biggest problem in the armed forces right now, and they're not going to admit it. Nobody in the armed forces is going to admit this. They're all going to lie. Is we're putting tons of equipment out, and we're not training anybody how to use it. Not effectively. You're full of shit if you're saying that they know how to use that equipment properly, because there's no time. There's no time to teach or train in a lot of that equipment that is coming out, that's out there right now. You get a 15-minute, this is how you put it on, this is how you use it. Nobody's using it. Nobody is using the equipment to the effectiveness that you could be using it. Why? Because there's so much of it. There's just so much of that technology that's out there that in a perfect world, is advancing the way we do warfare. What is currently happening, it's not advancing us. It's making us dumber, because all that technology is not getting used in the proper way. And the minute you figure out how to use this laser GPS guided laser ninja piece of gear, they're like, hey, there's a part 2 to this. Here we go. Here's another one. It's just, we are wasting billions and billions of dollars on shit that they don't need.
It's like Battleship. They're gonna have to recommission that battleship, and there's fucking 2 dudes in the world that know how to fucking run that thing.
Well, you think? Well, I guess there probably is a couple of guys in the Navy now. You figure
if the smart technology ceased to work, nobody could fucking use any of that old shit.
You figure the first person, man, you would think about it. So when they recommissioned the New Jersey, when they brought the New Jersey out of mothballs and decided they were going to have a battleship for the first Persian Gulf War, when they brought it out, nobody knew how to operate the guns. The Navy forgot how to fire 16-inch guns. So they brought this old dude, 64 years old I think he was, out of retirement, and brought him on the ship to teach them how to fire these guns, how to fire them without killing themselves.
Wasn't he like the only dude that fucking...
I think he was the only one that could. Like, I'm sure that there was probably other gunner's mates, but, in wheelchairs and...
Right.
He was probably the only one that could, able-bodied seaman. And he had to teach him how to fire these guns. And if you look it up, you'll see pictures of him with his Navy hat on. I want to say it's red, but that can't be right because that's Marine Corps. But he's got his Navy hat on, and he's standing in civilian clothes while these guys are learning how to fire this fucking 16-inch gun. I also believe that they took him to the Persian Gulf the first time that thing deployed. I might be wrong about that though. But yeah, they had to relearn that stuff. So that means that there were sailors in the Navy in the 90s who know how to operate those 16-inch guns. Which means if the Navy decided next year to bring the New Jersey out of mothballs, they would probably still have a 60-year-old in there, or pretty damn close to 60 years old. They would have to show them how to fire that gun.
So with Space Command and all that shit, I think it's a coincidence they're putting out like Predators out, the new Predator movie. So just population. Let's fucking get media to put out a bunch of fucking alien movies. I don't think so, but
it's possible. It's possible, and they've been there. There has been a lot of
the vote. Like I saw Predator this weekend. It was fucking awesome. If you like any of the others, you'll like this. The fucking
isn't this like a super Predator?
Yeah, it's fucking. But it was cool. The movie was cool. But when you're voting, fucking, where's the money going? Let's vote on this. Space Command. You go watch the fucking Alien movie. You might be glad that we had a Space Command. So come time to fucking vote for some of that shit. Yeah, we'll put that out there.
Maybe. Maybe. Truth be told, Space Command, or Space Force will be fighting the Russians and the Chinese, and probably India, which is weird when you think about it. But Space Force has nothing to do with aliens coming, because when here's the thing. When the Battlestar Galactica that's been traveling across the universe to get away from the Cylons shows up to planet Earth, there will be nothing we can do. Nothing. They will either annihilate us or treat us like children. One of the two. So just think about that. That technology to get a civilization across the universe, they're going to have stuff that we can't even comprehend. And they'll be laughing when you start shooting your M16 up at the Star Cruiser. They're just going to be in there laughing. They'll just be laughing. They'll be looking at the little monkeys down there shooting their little guns at us. So when they show up, there's nothing we're going to be able to do. The only reason to have a Space Force is to fight other entities on planet Earth that are going to be trying to populate space. A lot of you don't realize. Do you know that the Japanese, India, and there's another company or another country, can't think of the other country, are currently investigating the moon. Like
they have rovers on them.
Flying around the moon.
A year ago, Japan, India, and China all had fucking rovers on the moon. Currently, we're not even fucking.
Japan flew to the moon with the sole mission. So all you conspiracy nuts out there, enjoy it. But Japan flew to the moon with the sole mission to prove whether or not we went to the moon. And they actually flew and took video and still images of all the landing sites on the moon.
And there was nothing there.
And there was everything. Here's the thing about Americans. Here's the thing about Americans. All our garbage was still on the moon. All our trash, all our footprints, all the vehicle tracks, all still there.
I believe they were in cahoots.
Here's another thing that most people don't know is all that stuff is considered. Space is considered like the ocean, and nothing belongs to us. So if let's say the Indians send a mission to the moon, and they land at one of our sites, they can use all our stuff. So there is a dune buggy sitting on the moon with solar panels. Batteries might still be charged. The Indians can go to the moon, get in the dune buggy, and go tear assing around the moon in our dune buggy, and it's completely legal.
Of course it is. You fucking abandoned it. But so
But we didn't. We left the
so
American flag.
If the Japanese
Japanese.
went to the moon
So you go moon.
to prove that we didn't, but we did, they say, and they now say, okay, yes, the Americans went to the moon. What about just fucking 2 years ago, all these fucking NASA astronauts saying, well, we can't go back to the moon because we lost the telemetry and we're not sure that we can actually get through the Van Allen radiation belt.
Well,
It was all bullshit.
it's not bullshit. The thing about that is you
No,
got
I'm saying they fucking lied. All those fucking astronauts. You ever seen an astronaut? Like, they look like your fucking homely ass fucking teacher that's been fucking drinking all weekend. Every time you see one of them motherfuckers on camera, they look like somebody you wouldn't even want to fucking babysit your dog.
That's because it's been 70. That's because it's been a long time since they went to the moon. Those were the
But these interviews were just these interviews just happened. Like,
yeah, but those were the. You think about that. These
so
interviews-
the great United States can't fucking do it because we can't figure out the telemetry, even though we have fucking computers now and we were using protractors when we did it.
that's not what they're saying.
But Japan fucking just did it.
What they're
China
saying.
just did it.
What they're saying is they can't find the tapes with the telemetry on
I
it.
got it. I
Could
got
we
it.
still go
But
to the
that's
moon?
not what they said. You guys should pick a better fucking spokesperson.
No. You should not. Do not listen to this crazy conspiracy thing. You have to understand that when NASA went to the moon, they were using reel-to-reel tapes. So these big, huge reel-to-reel tapes,
1,000 pounds worth.
1,000 pounds worth, but they were using that for everything. So fast forward 60 years, do you know where your dad's 8-track tape player is? No, you would say the same thing.
That's not
We-
what I'm. That's
We
not,
got 8-track tapes around here somewhere, but we don't know where they're at because
not my point.
nobody would give a shit.
We can't. They specifically. Why haven't we gone back to the moon? Well, we're not even sure we can go to the moon because we can't. We don't have the telemetry. We'll figure it out, dipshit. We were doing it when fucking. We were pretty much using fucking candles. I mean,
Well, but the focus is not on the moon.
I got you.
We've already been there.
I got you. Find somebody that's been to Antarctica. Not like went to Antarctica and went and fucking stood in front of the fucking flags there and shit. Find somebody that's actually been into Antarctica. There isn't anybody. You will find nobody. And find them. You can't go there.
Hitler's there. Hitler's in Antarctica.
That's what they say. That's what they say.
We could go to Antarctica.
I would love to go to Antarctica. But you know where we're going to go? We're going to go take the same photo in front of the same building and the same flagpole that every other motherfucker. What my grandpa went to? No, he didn't. He went to the little fucking canned location. Check out the flight patterns when they fly around the world. Just watch the shit. Just Google it. It's a fucking deep rabbit hole. It's entertaining.
You know why they do that?
Why?
Because of prevailing winds.
Bullshit.
It's 100%.
Bullshit.
It has to do with prevailing winds.
No.
It's where they fly.
We're
It's
not,
the same
we
reason.
don't have sails anymore.
It's the same reason why there are places in the. There's same reason why there are places in the Pacific Ocean that ships don't go.
How come when you leave, you're going to fly this way, you actually fly this way? If you're here, trying to go here, they don't fucking do that. They go here.
Wait, did you just go 108? Did you just go
Yes.
full circle
Yes,
all the way
they
around?
fucking fly the other way around the world. Yes.
Why would you do that?
Why do they do it?
Because of tailwinds
No.
and headwinds.
No.
You need the fuel. You burn more fuel when you're going against the wind.
Check it out. Like when you fly, when they need to refuel, they fly fucking 500 miles out of the way and land on an island to refuel. You do not fucking fly. It's no fly zone. They're not going. Check it out. Just Google it. Watch the videos.
Google it.
Google me, bitch.
Google it.
All right, we got real shit.
Google it.